Where is my camera? Where
My
is my
diesel fan.
camera?
Okay. Handcrafted.
Find
Y'all
my
see that?
camera.
Y'all see that?
It's here.
Y'all see
It's
this
right. Where's my
handcrafted?
camera? Right
Yes,
here. Am I
ma'am.
here? I am. I'm here. Let's take a look.
Love.
Do I have my mute? Like, what's going on? Oh.
We got a bath bomb, passion fruit. Mmm. Okay. We got another passion fruit.
Oh, oh, my bad. I didn't know I was yet streaming, but I guess I am. So, anyways, hello everyone. And I said that I'm going to post to TikTok too, and I'm not. And this view is kind of, you know, I said I'm going to post to TikTok, and I don't, but I know definitely it's on YouTube. So today is Saturday, September 16th, 2023. It's about 1:23 in the afternoon. I just got back from a walk, probably 30, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. How did I spend my day so far? I had a little, you know, I enjoyed myself at work for a couple of hours, and then I went for my walk because I needed to get out and walk around. The reason that I'm listing this as social and networking skills is just my diary, y'all, but you know that my life is made up of a few consistent things, and those consistent things are talking out here. Those consistent things are the things I have on my clutter-free workouts. My drive is not attached because I think something happened to it, which I needed to unhappen because I feel like I need to treat myself to some food. And when I say food, it doesn't mean I'm going out anywhere to eat, anywhere nice or extravagant. Definitely not extravagant, but it means that I'm going to pick up some things for me to be able to eat at home. That's all that it means, okay? But I'm happy enough to say that I may be able to do that, right? Um, with that being said, you know, recently I saw a TikTok video where this lady, and I think I talked about this before, this lady was talking about how um, you know, some guy was saying, oh, you know, he got money, but with money come problems. She was like, what money you got? You sleeping on people's couches. You know, you basically was begging for money to bond yourself out of jail and all this other stuff. But I'm going to tell you, and my response is that, hey, I have less than he has, and I'm thankful. You know, I'm thankful, you know, provided that I'm able to find my money, provided that I'm able to, because I have a whole things going on here. I would be happy to go get whatever I can get to bring back to eat. Now, let's talk about the social networking skills part. As I was on my way out and about today, I decided I wanted to stretch my back. I told y'all I don't want that little hump thing, and I feel some fat coming up here. So I try to walk around with my hands behind my back. So if you're in Valdosta and you see me with my arms behind my back like this, is because I'm trying to practice straightening up my back so that I'm not hunched over. That's all I'm doing. But anyhow, as I was walking around out and about, you know, there's key people that I bumped into, and maybe God don't want me to bump into those people that, you know, that I have questions for. But God don't want me to bump into those people because God is saying that ain't none of you right there. So I'm okay with that. But as I was walking back, y'all don't know, as y'all, some of y'all know, I do have profiles like on different quote unquote, I call them chat sites, but they're actually dating sites. I'm not on there to date. I'm on there to meet people and to connect, you know, because, you know, I've tried churches, you know, y'all seen the results. I'm a little disheartened. Eventually I will go back, you know, to share my stories with them directly. But right now ain't the time. I'm trying to stay focused on work and getting the place together, because the place together is the business together. You understand me? So speaking of which, let's talk about POF first. So I was walking around, and on POF, I addressed the fact that you're going to see me walking. I walked miles and miles because somebody sent me a message and they took it back because the message, from what I could see, I didn't never got a chance to open it. It was just a preview. It said, I saw you walking the other day. Yeah, you did. My profile says I do not have a vehicle, but that's going to change. And when I do get a vehicle, it's not going to be mine. It's going to be for the benefit of whatever business I'm trying to get together, which is, y'all already know what it is. I'm not going to say it because I said I won't talk about it no more, so I'm not. But the vehicle would be for that purpose. But, you know, and so I addressed it on there and said, hey, y'all are going to see me walking. If you see me walking, you know, don't be ashamed. It's not a bad thing. And don't necessarily say anything to me because I'm a scary type of person. You know what I'm saying? But anyhow, somebody did see me. And I appreciate it. If that guy sees this, I appreciate you. The way that you handled it was lovely. So, you know, at first, you know, I'm relaxing. You know, I'm walking around getting my woosah moment. And this happens all the time, so I didn't pay any attention. This truck goes by me real slow, and I'm like, okay, Stockerville, or either he's going over a speed hump or something. But then he gets to the end of the road and he says, let me turn back around. And I'm not scared. And like I said, your vibes tell you everything. I wasn't scared. Usually I'm on high alert, like, oh my God, this guy turned around, let me take out my phone. But I didn't do that. I let him come back because I figured he was just going to get a second look. Fine, you can look again, it's okay. It's all right, you can look, there's no problem with that. And the vibe that I got, even though I didn't speak to him, didn't see him, the energy that I got was that if he was going to be nosy, he wasn't being nosy for any bad reason. That's the way I felt, right? So he came back by, and it's kind of weird because I'm like, okay, he saw me from the back because he was coming behind me. Now he just wants to look at me from the front, right? So I'm like, okay, fine. He's checking my face card. So, I'm just like, is this really awkward? So I'm wiping the sweat off my head, and I'm turning my head to the side because, he's pointedly stopping and slowing down beside me. And I'm like, here we go. But then he says, hey, and then he wants to make sure, and this is what I liked about him. He wanted to make sure that I knew that I was safe. He rolled his window all the way down. He even opened his car door and said, hey, I saw your profile on POF. At that point, we're best buddies. I'm like, hey, how you doing? I would hug you, but I'm sweaty. And then, and he didn't care about none of that. He didn't care about none of that. So I gave him a hug, and then I walked away, and then he says, hey, let me get your number. And I said, no. I said, no, you have to find me on POF. And he was like, well, I tried to find you again, but I couldn't find you. But that was my thing about, if I meet somebody somewhere, that's where it's going to stay, But after a little bit, and I'll talk a little bit about, because there's a whole slew of things happened after that. Because after I hugged him and walked off, and he told me, let me get your number, and I said, no. And he was a big old teddy bear, y'all. So shout out to big teddy bears out there. And a big old teddy bear, but of course, probably younger than me, because everybody's younger than me. He might be 40 at the very latest, probably around 35, 29 to 35 is what I'm thinking, because somehow that's the age group. But anyhow, so, as I walk off, there's some kids that were playing in a yard. I'm not on my street, I'm on another street. The kids playing on her, and the girl looks at me like, so I'm thinking, okay, now here's where the problem comes in. Either she saw me hug this guy, and either she's thinking a few different things. Either she's thinking, ain't that my mama boyfriend? Or, somebody that she know or something, And then the other thing, am I doing something bad? Because that doesn't look right if you just hug somebody off the street, right? So, as I get closer to the kids, they all start running. They start screaming, and they look at me and start screaming and running. And I'm like, what's going on? The kids actually started screaming and running when they looked at me. And the girl picks up this huge stick, and I'm like, is she going to hit me with this stick? I'm looking at her like, okay, maybe there's a dog behind me, but, it's hot, I'm sweaty, I don't have time to look, So I'm just looking at them, and then she drops the stick, then they all look at me, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So I look behind me, I don't see a dog, so obviously my appearance scared them. So I said, hey, how y'all doing? And the girl says, okay. Then after a while, the mama comes out and said, what y'all out here doing? I said, ma'am, they're not doing anything. They're just being kids. I happened to walk by. I guess my appearance scared them. I don't know if it was a hair or whatever. So I asked them how they're doing. And that was the end of it. And then the kids started to feel bad. There were like 4 kids. And the kids started to feel bad. And the little boy, or one of them said, the reason that, we were scared of you was because you had a big old smile on your face. I was like, okay, note to self, don't smile when you walk because you scare children. And he was just like, well, it's bigger than any that I've ever seen before. And so, when I'm practicing smiling more, because my mom calls these ankles. I have this wrinkle crease in the middle of my forehead. I noticed it because, if you work from home, you're always on camera. I noticed it on the Zoom, and I'm just like, yo, I need to smile more. So I was intentionally smiling more. But unbeknownst to me, it came off like Pennywise the Clown, and it was scaring. It was scaring children. So shout out again to the POF guy, because the kids were scared. He wasn't, thankful to him. And so I was practicing, and that may have made me practice smiling more and more because people are actually seeing me, so let me smile more. But inadvertently, it scared these children. And they told me, because I spoke, and then the mom came out and spoke, and I was just like, oh, they don't mean no harm. They was just like, we're sorry we looked at you like that. It was just that you had this big smile, and it was scary. So I scared them, okay? That was what happened. And then as I started to walk off, the little girl said something. I didn't understand what she said. I said, what'd she say? And she says, oh, I said nothing. Then the little boy says, you got $2. And I said, no, but perhaps you can, like your neighbors and stuff, find little things, start a little business for yourself and pick up, stuff just from your neighbors. I don't, mean going out nowhere further. Then the lady comes out again. I don't think it's the mama because she seems a little bit in the lifestyle. I don't know. So no offense if you see this man, but she seemed like she was on that lifestyle. So she might have been maybe the partner of the mama, or maybe she was the mama and she just switched up. I don't know. but she was just like, calling the kids to, and I was like, ma'am, I was just telling them whatever because I wanted full disclosure. But what made me really walk off was that after I said that, I said, but you need to make sure that you ask your mama and things like that to make sure it's okay. And then the little boy says, my mama let me do anything. And I was like, no, I don't think your mama lets you do anything. And he says, well, she lets me have a girlfriend. And I said, okay, it's time for me to go. Y'all have a nice day. And I start to walk off, and that's when the mama came out. And so she asked what happened. I told them about the cones. I didn't get into the conversation about the girlfriend part. But yeah, so about social networking skills, how do I feel about it? How did I feel about it immediately when I left the situation with the guy? I didn't think about him because the kids came up next, like immediately after. I didn't have time. But it made me, as I started to walk away from the kids and I started walking down the street, it made me think, one, I need to have my networking cards. But we're going to get there because now we have, I still am behind a whole lot. Shout out to, I'm not going to say it because I'm scared I don't want to cause no problems, but shout out to that person or entities that I owe money to, right? But, I need to have networking cards. So when that guy saw me, and the reason I don't think, the problem with me not giving that guy my number or waiting to take his number down, because I already, in hindsight, out of gut reaction, I'm a hugging person. I would give you a hug, but I'm sweaty. He didn't care. And like I said, he, full disclosure, made me feel comfortable, rolled the window all the way down, opened the car door to let me know he's not going to try to snatch me and, take off. So, and he was kind. He was literally a big teddy bear. So if you're in the Valdosta area, there's some big teddy bears out here if y'all are single, because he was a big teddy bear. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know about men. Just because you're on a site don't mean that you're single. But he was a big teddy bear, and obviously he's available. So, and me saying that doesn't mean, that I'm, it doesn't mean anything. It's just, he's available. It appears from appearance, because if you weren't available, you wouldn't stop and open the door so everybody can see you doing whatever you do. But anyhow, moving right along. So, initially the way I felt about that when I walked off was like, I questioned myself. I said, why didn't I exchange information with him? On my profile, I said that I'm trying to meet local people here in Valdosta. Obviously, he's local in Valdosta. He stopped. I feel like I feel deja vu. This is like the third time I've had this conversation. I feel like I have the feeling of deja vu right now. And it's a really weird, uncomfortable feeling. But anyways, so yeah, obviously he's in Valdosta. Why wouldn't I stop and exchange numbers? And the thought came to mind that afterwards, the kids' reaction, I didn't know if they were reacting to me or if it looked inappropriate, and that's one thing, but I didn't feel inappropriate about that at all. I didn't feel he was inappropriate. I don't feel I was inappropriate, but, again, perceptions. But if I'm stopping there, I don't want to look like one of those girls that's like taking phone numbers off the street. You know what I'm saying? Where guys are trying to, I don't want to do that, So I told him he would have to find me on POF. At first, my initial feelings about how I handled that was like, if I'm looking to meet people, why wouldn't I just take the number? I could have missed an opportunity because y'all know I can't cook. You know what I'm saying? I could have been like, hey, do you grill? I got some meat. You want to grill? Will you grill? Or whatever, or he's a big guy. Like I said, he's a huge teddy, like a ginormous teddy bear, life-size teddy bear. I could have been like, hey, I need to work out some more. If you want, you're welcome to come by and we can work out in the front yard together. We'll do some little steps, or something. You know what I mean? The little ballet thing. I had to start with that. That's easy. I don't know if he'd be down with that. But yeah, that would have been an opportunity for me to connect with somebody and make a new friend. That's all I'm trying to do, right? And then if I'm talking about, you got to get people to like you first before they can get interested or involved in the things that concern you. And I could have shared with him all my pictures of all my artwork that I created, So, but do I feel bad about sending him back to my PR profile? Because he sounded a little piffed by that. I don't know. Maybe he blocked me because I didn't respond to him. Because I tell you, the POF thing, the chats and whatever, the messages you get, at first you're like, you can handle it. But then after a while, what happens is that you find people that you don't really want to talk to, but you don't block them or delete them because possibly in the future, if things get a little slow, you might hit them up, And so you end up with pages of messages of people that you never responded to. And some of those people get offended. Like, yo, I messaged you a week ago. You ain't really serious, which, if y'all see my profile, it's under my name. If you see my profile, everything's under my name. I'm open like that. But if you see my profile, it says that basically I'm just here, because one person was just like, how on your profile you say that you're just looking for friends and chat, but you said you're seriously looking for a relationship. POF doesn't give you the opportunity to say that you're looking for friends, It pushes you towards a relationship, which is not what I'm doing. But I guess relating to another person is a relationship, so that was the closest that I could get, right? But Yeah, so people will get mad and they'll block you, and then they can't find you again. They get block you because you didn't respond in 24 hours or a couple of days. They'll block you. They'll block you for different things. And sometimes I'm weird. And I admit it. I'll get on there and somebody will send me a message, and I'll say something stupid like, "Oh, special ed in the house," or "Oh, 50 cent in the house," something stupid and childish, and that would get on their nerves, and they might block me. So he might have blocked me for some reason and can't find me again. But if God willing, if I bump into him again, we're a little bit acquainted because we've met the first time. Now, the other thing is, what will I do if somebody else, sees me and says, "Hey," and he told me he liked my profile, and that's beautiful. But, what if somebody else sees me and the same thing happened? Will I take their number right off? I don't know, because, it could, because I block people too. I have no problem with blocking people. But I'll just say this. No, I'll send them back to the profile. But I'll just be like, and if there's a situation where you can't find me, if God willing, we'll bump into each other again. If we bump into each other again, things may be a little bit different. We'll leave it at that. Now, with the children, and that's one reason I need a networking card. Because if I had a networking card, I would just give it to them. That would be the end of it, right? And if you wanted to connect, we can connect. No problem, And I'm slow with my text messages the same way I am on the chat online, because first of all, my phone is broken. Okay, this is what my phone looks like. I can't see anything. Okay, and second of all, you know, I'm not gonna be tied down to nothing on a call. I'm not. I'm not doing that. Unless we set arrangements ahead of time. I'm not doing it. I'm so used to being by myself. I don't know how to do that. All right, and then with the kids situation. Okay, the kids looking, they're scared, whatever. Mama comes out. Then I have a card. Hey, Mama, this is who I am. This is where I live. I don't know if I put my address on there, but I live in the neighborhood because I'm walking around here. But I told her where I live, because with children, I want parents to feel, like if, I want them to feel safe. So I told her, I said, hey, my name is Maria. I live over on such and such a street. This is what the kids said, But then I could have a phone number and whatever. So if she needs to contact me for any reason, she can. That's what being a real neighbor is supposed to be, right? So yeah, those are things I need to work on. But first of all, I need to find my money. That's where I need to start off with, because I need to have food. I need to have toilet paper. What else? I need some basic things, right? And I need to have food, because I've been living the past couple days off of the church donations from two different places. One from Thule. She just dropped off. That stuff she gave me is all gone. The edible portion of it. I'm going to try to do something with those turkey burgers. I don't know if it's going to work, but all that's gone. And then the stuff from Woodlawn is basically all gone too, right? So, I'm going to work on that. But anyways, shout out to POF, because, y'all do have some good people on there, and then sometimes things get lost in translation and text and things like that. But I appreciate, if you see me walking down the street, it's fine. I'm usually scary. I wasn't scary today. And plus, my phone wasn't in my hand. It was in my pocket. So he probably like, hey, she ain't recording nothing, because her phone, she ain't got her phone with her. I had it. It was in my pocket. But I didn't have any reason to. I felt completely comfortable with him. Absolutely at ease, at peace. He's a good guy. I can tell. He's a good guy. But anyways, I am the magnificent. Not really. I'm pretty good because God made me. But yeah. But I'm going to get this done, because I need to find my money. I don't even know how the money works. I have it, because y'all know I messed up everything this year. This year was trained with something else, right? So I had to find other options for my money. Hopefully I got it, and hopefully if I got it, I could use it. But I don't use this actual option, so I don't know if I know my PIN number. I don't know where my card is. I don't know none of that stuff. So I may not have it. It may just be like a pseudo savings account for me. Hopefully nothing goes wrong with it, but it may. Anyways, I love you. Bye. And that was my thing on social and networking skills. I shared with you, how a networking card is definitely useful. So that's the main idea. And I shared with you 2 experiences that I had today. One with the POF guide, which was one form of me trying to network. You can use alternate forms, nothing wrong with that. And then 2 with, the kids seeing me and being scared of me and the mama coming out. Network card. Both good opportunities for that. I love you. So far, I've had a great day. 9 out of 10, definitely recommend. If things were clean, it would be a 10 out of 10, but they're not. Anyways,